Hello, welcome to DIY Lawn Care. My name is Patrick and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. And I thought I'd share with you changing out the diaphragm on one of the stations of the sprinkler. The reason why we're doing that is because you can see that water is continuously going out the sprinkler head even when it's off. And if you take a look, you can tell water just continues to stay there. And I've had this one happen once before, so I'm going to walk you through what to do. First, you want to find out what station has that on to make sure. So what I'm going to do is go over to where the irrigation box is, where the stations are. Usually. And then you're going to turn it on, and I believe it's this one. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's a different station. Okay. That is not it. I think it might be this one. Okay. Now that's the station. You can tell I turned that one on. And that's where all the sprinkler, see? So every one of these stations right here, those are going to be the ones that we're looking at to fix. Alright, so now that we know what that is, I can shut it off. And so, okay, I'll shut this off right here, because we know this is the one right here that we're going to be working on. So shut it off. Now it's on off. Next you're going to do is walk over to your main water line and shut off the irrigation water that's feeding all your sprinklers and also your drip system, usually, if you have both of those. Okay, so this is my main water. Let's say that's the main line, and this is the one that's going up and going down into the irrigation. I'm going to shut this one off right now. Okay. Put a little muscle into it. There you go. All right, now it's shut. Okay. So next, what I need to do is I'm not gonna replace the whole part, but I'll show you the device itself that I got at Sprinkler World. Okay. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna take this part off, because I don't want to get into this part. I don't think this has anything to do with it. This is the main line going into the main line of the sprinklers for that station. But I think if I just replace this part, because what happened is the reason why there's water leaking, from what I read, is the diaphragm is not shutting. It's not shutting all the way. Whenever this shuts off, it's not shutting all the way, and because of it, water is leaking out through here and going to that station, and that's why water is puddling. So we're going to see if that's going to fix the problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I am going to unscrew all of these four first, so it'll be easier to work with, and then I'll be right back. Okay, all right, now all of the screws are out, and now you just take this off. Let's see where the diaphragm is. And what I'm going to do is now unscrew the one that's over at the irrigation box part, and then we'll use everything here, and this is the part that'll just stay there original, and see if that fixes the problem. Alright, so if you can tell, I've taken 3 of the screws out. I just want to show you before I finish the last one. I was trying to use the flathead. That it was hard to get to, just because probably water corrosion. So I used the wrench instead, and it was at 8. I don't know if you can see that. There you go, 8. And I'm taking that off right now, and then we'll continue on. I'll put some gloves when we're starting to work with the wire. Okay, I've got the main water off. If you can tell, it's still leaking a little bit, like water's coming out. Yeah, see if maybe I shut the valve all the way on the main water line. but here it is all the way off, and this part is the diaphragm that we're going to, so I'm just going to replace this whole part and then connect it into there and see if that resolves the issue. Next I'm going to do is unplug this to this and plug in this same one, and then plug in the new one with the new device. Okay, so I decided to leave the same switch to turn the channel on. So I only took and changed out these parts to see if that fixes the problem, since the wires are all hooked up, and see if that will resolve it. Okay, now I'm gonna turn on the water main and see what happens here. Now I noticed when I did take it off, there was still a little water coming out, so I don't know exactly the reason why, if the water wasn't off the way, but a little bit was still coming out, but it was really low pressure. So now I'm going to turn this on. Alright, now that that's on, we'll go back and see if the water continues to puddle or not, or if it resolved the issue. Alright, now that we turned the water back on, we're going to go over, I gave it a few minutes to see, because the water, still would be there where the sprinkler head is. Gave it a little bit of time, and look how it looks now. Now that we've changed out that diaphragm, and that's good. That's a good, see, the water is dissipated. You got the sprinkler head right there. Perfect. Okay, so we fixed our problem. Now, knowing that the diaphragm, instead of taking the whole thing out, you probably could save yourself a little money. I think the diaphragm itself was $12, and the device was about, I think it was like 20 bucks. So, I mean, if you want to save $8, then just get the diaphragm. I just wanted to get the whole component because I wasn't for sure if that was going to be the fix or not. Might as well have all of it. If something does go bad, I have it as a replacement part. Again, that's DIY Lawn Care with Patrick. Thanks a lot for watching.